Hey guys, Joe here. So I just went surfing, and every time I go out there, it's always end up learning something, or being able to relate the surfing to business, and so that's what kind of happened today again. So I'm out there. I still don't really know what I'm doing. That's a lie. So I'm not good, I'm not as good as I want to be, not catching waves as, as many waves as I want to. Still nervous about the bigger waves, stuff like that. And so I'm out there. A few things to learn today, or puts it into perspective. So one, people tend to congregate together. I think it's from, just because of, years and years and years ago when, we had to actually survive. We have, there's a better chance of survival with, more people in a particular tribe, right? And because today I'm literally out there and I'm minding my own business. And so then one guy starts, surfing close to me. And then next thing you know, it's like two other people. And literally right on top of me. I'm like, what the hell? I am just trying to chill. So I end up moving. 5 minutes later, all three of them are up my ass again, right? So I moved again, and sure enough, they're there again, and keeps happening. And then we had a few more people go out, so then eventually I end up moving, so then they stayed with those people, and then I was fine to be by myself. And the reason why I like being by myself is because I'm still nowhere. I don't want to be next to the real good guys, because at that point I'm not, it's annoying for them, it's annoying for me, I'm more self-conscious, blah blah blah, right? So that was number one. The second thing is, we see it in business, and I see it, and we're always kind of comparing ourselves to other people, and you see these really successful people, and you're like, what the hell are you doing that I'm not doing, right? And it comes from a few different areas, right? So with surfing, there's where you're at, in the lineup. So where are you at, to catch the waves, and the one thing they talk about is being at the bus stop, right? And basically at the bus stop is where, where you should be in order to, one, catch waves, and two, not have them to basically break on top of it, right? And if you're not in the right spot, you're either going to have a difficult time, or you're going to get waves crashing on your head all day, right? So anyway, I'm seeing this guy surf. He's like a kid. Not a kid. I don't know. He's 20 something. And I'm out there, and he came in after. He came out after me, and literally wave after wave after wave, he just keeps catching them, right? And it came down to a few things. One, definitely had a bigger board, right? So the bigger board enables you to paddle, right? Paddle more efficiently, gain more distance, things like that. And whereas my board was a little bit smaller, right? The other thing is he wasn't afraid of catching these bigger waves, which those are still making me uncomfortable. So when I'm trying to catch these smaller waves, it puts me in a more of an annoying situation, because I can't be as far out, right? Because that's where the bigger waves are. And where I'm trying to catch these smaller ones is a lot of times where the bigger ones are gonna just dump on my head, right? So you see that. The other thing is he was putting in a lot more effort. So he would start paddling. I would just watch, right? And so he would start paddling, a little bit sooner than I would. But then he is where most people are giving up on the wave, he is just going and going and going, and then he eventually, inevitably catches these waves, right? So it's the effort. So basically it came down to three things. It's the amount of effort that he was putting in, where most people are putting in just say 2 and 3 seconds, or just say, they were 10 paddles, right? left, right, do that time, 5 times, just say 10 paddles. Whereas he was putting in like 2 and 3 times the effort, right? So this kind of, you can equate to social media, things like that. So, all of us out here just say are posting 1 time a day. He's out there posting like 3, right? So there's that. Not only that, he's in a better position for the waves. So this is kind of like, again, relating it to social media. It's like, we're posting at, say, midnight, whereas he's posting at the peak times, right? And then you have also the board, right? So going back to that, you have the bigger board. It's more efficient. You can paddle quicker. Every stroke that you basically make, you're getting more distance out of each stroke compared to like what we are. So what this equates to is you can look at it like higher pricing, right? So basically, just say we're charging $1,000 for this, material. Well, he's charging $1,200 and $1,300. So every sale he makes, he's creating that much more profit, right? Whereas, you might be charging 10% more, but that 10% equates to like 20 and 30% more profit. So, it's always interesting to see how these are stacked up. And then also the bigger wave, right? So going back to that, so I guess this would be 4 things, right? Is that the opportunities that he's catching, right? So like compared like the smaller waves to the bigger waves, right? So the smaller opportunities to the bigger opportunities. When I'm catching a wave, I might be on the wave for like 5-6 seconds. Whereas, he's catching it much further out and catching these bigger waves. So instead of like 5 and 6 seconds, he might be on there 10 and 12 seconds, right? So he's catching more waves. He's catching probably double the amount of waves. And then the waves that he's on are, he's on the wave like twice as long, right? So what this is creating, it's not like double the amount of waves. He's catching 400% more time on the wave than I am, right? So hopefully this stuff helps. It's things that just go through my head. And like it does get frustrating, but also it's like a form of motivation as well. And seeing like there's a quote by Tony Robbins, I believe, that is just, success leaves clues, right? And we're not trying to reinvent the wheel. We're just looking to see what people are doing and kind of like take from each of those different areas. So maybe you're looking at 5 of your different competitors. Maybe one is doing a really good job with social media. Maybe the other one is bringing in like, top tier talent for the sales process and things like that. And it's like these small tweaks where if you can get 5% better in this area and 5% better in that area and 5% in that area, it's not 15% because you're doing 5% on top of the 5 on top of the 5. So I don't know exact numbers, but it's probably instead of 15%, it's probably like 25% improvement just because of these small tweaks. So that's where we have to look within our business and figure out what the hell we're going to do, right? So anyway, hope this helps. Just me more or less working through my own head because of that's what I do. So anyway, hope you guys have an awesome day, and I will talk to you soon.